Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to solve the equation -2x plus 1 equals 1. The first step in this equation is to subtract 1 from both sides. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, so now that we have subtracted 1 on both sides, now we just have to do some math. So on this side, a 1 plus a -1 will be 0, and now also, since the equation is also the same, 1 and -1, the result will be 0 on both sides of the equal sign. So now, the next step that we have to do is just bring down the -2x and the equal sign. And since we discussed earlier that the answer is going to be 0 over here, the 0 that you get from the right side of the equal sign belongs on the right side of the 2x over here. So your answer, so far at least, not the final answer, should be -2x equals 0 because we've basically subtracted -1 on this side and then -1 on this side over here on the left and right side of the equal sign. And so just to kind of get rid of any confusion, the moment I do my math like this, I cross these out so that way you know what is basically left over. Now, it's not always the case that both sides will cancel out. It just so happened that both sides in this case did. Now that we are done with canceling it out, let's focus on what is left over. And so the equation that's currently left over is -2x equals 0. So now, in order to solve this equation, we have to basically divide by -2 on both sides. So what we're going to be doing now is put a nice little bar right over the -2x and under the 0 like this. And then we're going to drop a -2 over here and a -2 over here. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is basically, let's first focus on just canceling out these signs. That'll make things a whole lot easier when before we proceed to anything else. So we know that in a multiplication and division problem, a negative times a negative becomes a positive. So what I'm basically going to do is just turn these into plus signs. Okay, so now on the left-hand side of the equation, all we have left is basically 2x over 2, and we know that these 2's cancel out. So now we're left with basically a 1 over at the bottom, and then a 1 over at the top. So now we know that 1 times x is just x, so let's just bring that x down. Along with the x, let's also bring down the equal sign. Okay, so now that we have brought down the equal sign, now we just have to basically divide 0 divided by -2, and we know the answer to that equation is 0. Because anything divided by 0 is just 0. Okay, so now what we're going to do is basically check the equation, which is always important to do, so that way you know if all the work that you did is correct. So now, in order to check the equation, what you're going to be doing is you're basically going to take this 0 that we just found and plug it back into the original equation, which is -2x plus 1 equals 1. So let's rewrite the equation a little bit neater. Okay, so that's the original equation. So let's plug in the 0 in place of this x. So I'm going to write down -2 and then I'm going to put a parentheses, write in my 0, plus 1, Okay, so now what we have to do is -2 times 0, which is basically 0. And then 0 plus 1 equals 1. And since 1 equals 1, everything that I did is correct, and the equation checks out. If this video really helped you out, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.